Hi, this is Ben Lorica. We do have a few minutes for questions with some of our previous speakers who were kind enough to stick around to answer some of your questions. So the first one is to Sonia Maksmansky of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. So Sonia, what were you able to realistically implement for centralization at your company? A centralized repo or documentation in cross-linking, or somewhere in the middle?
Yeah, so you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, so actually, we've been able to implement a centralized GitHub server, and it's actually been pretty popular and successful. It's been kind of a recent addition, and actually been impressed with how much enthusiasm it's seen. I think what's happening is just a lot of data science teams, they just love the ability to quickly and easily share their code with other teams and share their ideas and share their successes. So it's really kind of taken off because of that. I would say not necessarily every team is kind of using doing pull requests in the same way. I think that kind of just comes in time with the culture. But the idea of just having a place to share code has worked out really well.
So Ernie Durdovich of QB was not on our panel, but I do want his take on one of the questions I asked at the panel. So in the spirit of wanting to manage less tech infrastructure, Ernie, what are you still struggling with today, and what tools would you like to have access to?
Yes, thank you for the question. Actually, we built our infrastructure some years ago. So now we have the luxury of focusing on the business problems most of the time. But still we have, with 60 ETLs in place, and they all have some kind of dependency between each other, we miss a little bit a tool that connects them together, like it is Airflow, for instance, at the moment. But our data scientists didn't really like to use Airflow because it was a little bit too far from the actual code that they were using in Databricks. So for this reason, we went to Databricks job scheduler, but we miss a little bit this dependency management. So when a job fails and how to trigger the next one in the pipeline. So we built our own tools around it. But if there would be a way to automate this would be even better, I would say.
So Sean Owen of Databricks is also still around, and Sean, as someone who has long practiced data science and helped customers, what sorts of things are you looking forward to as far as automation tools for the type of software engineering and data science that you have to practice day in and day out?
Yeah, right. I mean, I think from the talks we saw today, like some of the most advanced and competent data science teams in the world are struggling with what we might describe as basic problems, like how do I log my model? How do I know which one is the production version? And I think these days we're getting past that, right? I hope with tools like MLflow that those basic concerns are well in hand now. So what I hope we're talking about when we meet again next year, maybe perhaps, is what else we can now automate and make easier. And I think it's going to be things like A/B testing. Like, can you tell me which of these two models is actually performing better in production? Or can you at least verify that the model I'm about to deploy is valid, that it seems to return the right answers? Or indeed, AutoML, like, can you help me do a better job of picking the right model in the first place? Because these are, I think this is, as I think we heard earlier, it's kind of the fun part. But at the same time, the fun part is not in the typing the commands, it's in getting the results. And I think there's certainly a lot that's already automatable in these workflows. And if we can automate that too, then the year after that, we're going to talk about even more fun things.
And Steven, so you continue to evolve roles in how you organize your data and machine learning teams. So what changes and adjustments do you feel are still needed?
Yeah, I feel really at the team level that there's already quite a lot of maturity there. I mean, many of the tools are in place to make sure that models can be brought all the way to production and not just stuck at the proof of concept phase. I think adjustments are really needed more in the product management organization, all the way up to board level. So it's really that role of translating between the business and the technology and data side of things. I think there's beginning to become an appreciation that machine learning is different than traditional software development across organizations in general. I think we can do a lot to organizationally encourage this. And I think in many instances, it's important to have people in the right places that understand ML intuitively. And in many cases, it's more important to have that intuitive understanding than maybe the necessary 10 to 15 years experience before becoming a director. So I encourage organizations across the board to encourage those with data science backgrounds to start filling these roles across the organization. And that will lead to a larger adoption of data science and getting products and services out there in the market, making money.
All right. I think that concludes our event for today. And thank you all for staying until the end. And the recording of this event will be available. Make sure to visit the Databricks blog for details. And finally, I hope to see many of you online during the Spark Plus AI Virtual Summit this coming June. Thank you.